We gotta move on. Janet.
Hello, everyone. I'm Janet Aldrich, and I'm the president and founder of Film Registry News, and I am Catch of the Day Video News. And I wrote, if you're having trouble hearing me, I can't talk any louder unless there's an amplifying system. But I'm here to talk about my project and kind of explain what I've been doing to enhance the transparency of public record law. So I was asked yesterday morning and wrote a script with the assistance of Michael Gender, who edited it. But it has 5 points that I just want to go ahead and just mention so that you can follow along with what I'm saying. So why do we need a freelance media registry, which is what I created? Why do we need to document the public record, and how this creates jobs, how this creates entrepreneurship, and how this benefits the public information system for candidacy, accountability, and balance of news. So that's pretty much going to sum up what I'm going to be talking about. So I'm going to just try to stick to the script. I really can operate a lot better when I don't have a paper in front of me. I can just talk. But I want to kind of stick to this because we're on a time limit. So I started as a senior with some physical challenges in 2004, and I found myself free, therefore, to explore activism. So I was a reporter a long time ago in the 70s for many groups and a limited reporter covering 5 towns. So I already had my feet wet, and I was a senior, and I was planning to re-enter that situation, and I found myself at the State House during the marriage rallies. So I started videotaping, and people would ask me for a copy, and I said, oh, sure. So I was videotaping on VCRs and at that time. So my footage has been used by many groups around the country, and it's been used by mass resistance in Waltham. My footage was used by the Attorney General in her buffer zone case. And my footage since the time I started has been used in the Judiciary Committee. It's the only one that has ever been accepted as evidence during the marriage rallies because I put together a VCR copy of about 6 different video DVDs of everything that was going on around it, and they accepted it. I've been pursuing stand-in with the legislature and have had, that's been my stress point. I'm registered with the federal court now as Film Registry News. So I've put the name up over here, Film, and I'm registered with the SJC as Catch of the Day Video News. And recently there was a public hearing that was held at the SJC Pemberton Square, and I ended up being the only camera running in the room. Now there was 50 members of the media and lawyers representing different media outlets, and my camera, I requested, and I continue to request to cover open meeting, public meeting, events, and around the state. So I have that footage. So at first, when I went to the State House, now I've covered 500 public hearings. So when I went to the State House, they resisted me. And they resisted me and said I was press. So I went to the Secretary of State's office, and I made up a badge, a press pass, and that was it. The red one over there, it's pretty ugly. And I had a guy that was working with me on it, and he made it ugly on purpose. And I really felt like Dumbo the Elephant Girl when I came in with it. It was big, it looked ugly, it didn't look. But I went with it, and then eventually I found a company that makes the press passes, and this is what it looks like now. And we have 25 members, and I'm working on launching 351 members. It's called Launch 351. And the concept that I'm going to have to go off the script here because I just can't follow.
So you made up your own press pass and they accepted it?
Well, this is not how this was actually done.
You could probably go through the airport.
Covering the public hearings. And so they said, well, you can't come in every single time. So I created a press name for myself, Catch of the Day Video News. But in the concept, I realized the public record, the State House wasn't under the public record. So I said, well, you know, I'm going to start a media group. And so I named it Film Registry News, Commonwealth of Mass Freelance Media. I got it approved at the Secretary of State's office, and they gave me a runaround on, like, you know, well, this has to be in the public for 5 years. So I just said, fine. And I didn't know that, you know, somebody could have snagged the name in 5 years. So I've been operating for 10 years, and they didn't do it. So then I have trademarked the name Film, which is Commonwealth of Mass Freelance Media Registry, because I want to build this concept. And that's pretty much what my talk is about. Why do I have this registry? So I was able to capture 500 public hearings. I presented bills 3 times with my representative and senator, and all they would do is end up in study from 2007, and then the next session. And then this session, you know, there is a bill in there on public record law, but it really never went anywhere. That's just the way it is, because they do not want to be under the public record law. So in 2011, I was sick. I had a serious situation, and so I had to back out of the picture. And I decided, what should I do? Should I build a membership? Should I just launch this library, this online library, and just only contain it with the footage that I've gotten, or should I keep it going? And I decided that no, I would build a registry. So why do we need the registry? So by getting 350 people to join a media registry, it's not a club, in Massachusetts, one person will, from every town, 351, we will capture the public record on Beacon Hill. So in order to become a member of my registry, everyone has to agree to cover one public hearing every year. So that's pretty much how this works. And Michael Gentra's a member, Abby Bertelson's a member. Like I say, I have 25 members, and I hope to grow this whole thing. So let me see if I can. So I discovered that our State House was not under the public record law. So I kept asking repeatedly why this took place. So after 500 public hearings, I gave every single elected official in the State House a pink slip in 2010 in behalf of my registry. They had failed to keep the public trust and were in default. So a video record is an official legal record. So we have the ability to document the public meetings properly, publicly showing this to the citizenry, educating the citizens on how to intervene when they see our government going off the path. Instead, the secrecy of meetings, the secrecy of what is used as decisive material is never accessed, let alone understood by the public, when only a small percentage attend the public hearings, and their testimony is sleepily processed with no accountable record. No audio, no steno, no video, and it's a disgrace in this generation of so much technology not to be keeping the public record, period. So while I was being seen as a modern-day philanthropist, doing all this out of my own pocket, or a sucker to be doing all this for free, I was seeing this as an opportunity to invade the space that no one could. I was a senior, and I'm disabled physically. I have a chronic problem. And other than my car, I had no assets to ransack by the business community. I wanted to invest in my future. I wanted to write about these things. I needed the documents to remember them accurately. No one would just make that happen. So I had to, as I saw it could be done, and I was accumulating a debt each year to around $3 grand. So then I decided to just go on foot and give up my car. And thus I was able to afford the effort, gaining traction, visibility, and increased access as long as I stayed visible. So I cover public, all things public. If I get invited to something and someone doesn't want me to tape, if it's not a public event, I don't want to be there, don't even ask me. I'm only interested in covering public events. So I sold some of the footage when people asked, but it was a donation of around $10 a DVD. Depending on how many I would use, and I kept records of all my efforts until I got sick. So then the whole thing had to take a rest.
Janet, 2 minutes.
Okay. So how can this benefit for candidates accountability and balance? This is the best part of the story. As a political person who likes to know it all, I have covered many political events, and I want to see new people get elected. How can that happen if media ignores them? By introducing a press person in your group or your town as part of this registry, or just giving them a membership in our group, you have empowered your group to a new level of standing. We have a reputation that is shaking the ground all around the state. We have been effective in getting courts to look at new media inclusion, and we have been included in many events, even in DC, as press, even though we are small and it seemed to be of no impact. But in fact, we impact. When we can produce video documents out of the loop control of mainstream media, we are impacting accountability across the board in many dimensions. I love the impact of freelance journalism in America. We are frontline news. We can go to the action and just roll the camera. I can tell you this is hated for sure, but it works and accountability happens. I was told publicly by one mainstream media that I was one of the hardest working reporters they saw. I almost fell over. When we can weed out the rats eating cheese in any situation, if you are truly for the truth, how can this be wrong? Having the badge gives accountability both ways. Police know you are for real, and they can call the company and see if you're a fake, or they can just push you around and we'll fight back with you. Do we understand the new frontier at all when it comes to activism and new candidates? Do we understand something has to change in the media and the national, and this is it. Do not duplicate the system. Let's make this registry a national thing. That's my goal. Not the National Press Club. Instead, we will be the National Registry of Freelance Journalists and Reporters, and we're going to preserve the dignity of truth in America, or it will fall on our faces. This effort needs to be understood and spread far and wide now, as it is that urgent to stop the bleeding frustrations of our day, thus empowering you. Let's ignite our national spirit, cover what bases need covering, start here. I support mainstream media. They battle live TV every day. We can be theater fish gaining jobs. Can we make this happen? Can we believe this can change the playing field? They will come to us for news, I guarantee it. My footage, like I say, was used for the buffer zone. And also, Tom Duggan. I just broke a story with Tom Duggan because I happen to be in Boston. Why? Because now that I've covered 500 public hearings, I'm known. I didn't promise him anything. I showed up at the court. I said, I'll try to do this story. I'll give you the footage. I'll blah blah blah. He said, I'm going to use you again. I'm going to use your team. So I'm telling you, this is a concept that I came up with. It does create jobs. I have another part of this that's not included, and I'd be happy to come to any group and talk again about this. So.
You know what? We could follow up maybe at the next meeting, because you seem to have a lot more. If people would like to hear you, I would. But for now, let's do a few questions, and maybe we can continue next month. Yeah, Ed.
I just want to elaborate on the story, because I heard Tom Duggan explain this at a Worcester Tea Party meeting. He got a tip that the political director, I believe, of the ex-mayor of Lawrence, Willie Nantuika, had 5 Social Security accounts he was claiming welfare. And he couldn't get any other news. The state police were told to shut up. And he said, she called her and she went to the courthouse and told the whole thing. And there wouldn't have been any record of what happened. No, it wouldn't have showed up in the newspapers.
Right.
Except that she was there to report.
Yeah, Bob.
Do you have links to every one of your sites on each blog?
Yeah, if you go to these...
If I go to the WordPress.com, I have a blog.
Yeah.
If I go to your WordPress site,
Yeah.
will it give me all the other links? Hot links? I would suggest that if not.
Actually, you know, I've been doing this for so long, and my websites, I want to say they're under construction, but the ones that I have here are pretty much where you'll find things, because I'm catching the day. I try to separate what I do, like public events or riots or something like that, versus what's going on at the State House.
Yeah.
So what's at the State House is the CPPR Archive Project, which is the Coalition to Preserve the Public Record. I wanted to go national. I really need a lot of support and understanding and clarity on this thing. I need funding, and we need to have a serious group that will become board members that are really gonna, just stick with this thing. So,
All right, Janet, will you come back next month and finish up on
yeah,
this?
I'm thrilled.
Yes, great. All right, Paula.